In the heart of Guadalajara, Mexico, a young boy once sold ice cream on dusty streets with the sun blazing above his freckled skin and fiery red hair. 2 decades later, that same boy would stride into sold-out arenas under electric lights, commanding purses worth hundreds of millions. His name, Saúl Canelo Álvarez, the face of Mexican boxing, a 4-division world champion, and one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. As of October 2025, Canelo's estimated net worth stands at around $300 million, cementing him among the richest athletes in the world. He has earned over $600 million throughout his career, from record-breaking fight purses, sponsorships, and sprawling business ventures. He is not only a boxer, he is a brand, a symbol of Mexican pride, and the walking embodiment of what relentless work can achieve. Canelo's empire extends beyond the ropes. He owns Canelo Energy, a growing chain of gas stations across Mexico, a convenience store franchise, and his promotional company Canelo Promotions, through which he supports rising boxers. He has even entered fashion, real estate, and tech investments. From a boy who could barely afford boxing gloves to a mogul with private jets, mansions, and a fleet of Ferraris, Canelo's life is a masterclass in reinvention. But to understand how he got here, you have to go back to where the story began. Early life. Family background. Saúl Canelo Álvarez Barragán was born on July 18, 1990, in Guadalajara, Jalisco, the youngest of 8 children born to Santos Álvarez and María Barragán. His father sold popsicles and ice cream from a cart to make ends meet, while his mother raised their large family in the small town of Juanacatlán, outside Guadalajara. Life was simple but hard. The Álvarez children worked the land, helped their father sell frozen treats, and learned to value grit over comfort. The family's unity was unshakable, and sports became their escape from poverty. Canelo's older brothers Rigoberto, Ricardo, Ramón, and Gonzalo all became professional boxers, turning the Álvarez household into a fight school. When Saúl wasn't working, he was sparring with his brothers in makeshift rings, throwing punches at dreams that felt impossibly far away. Childhood and the birth of Canelo. From a young age, Saúl stood out, literally. His pale skin and bright red hair made him a curiosity in a land where such coloring was rare. Friends and neighbors nicknamed him Canelo, meaning cinnamon in Spanish, and the name stuck like destiny. He began boxing at 13, inspired by watching his brother Rigoberto train. Just 2 years later, Canelo won gold at the Mexican Junior National Championships, displaying a preternatural composure and power that stunned coaches. By age 15, education took a backseat. Canelo dropped out of school and turned professional, an unheard-of move for a kid barely old enough to drive. Personal life. Love and marriage. Canelo's personal life has been as public as his fights, filled with passion, mistakes, and eventual stability. After several high-profile relationships, he married Fernanda Gomez in May 2021 in an opulent ceremony at the Guadalajara Cathedral. The event was attended by celebrities, politicians, and boxing legends, a celebration of the boy who once sold ice cream, now crowned as a king in his hometown. Fernanda, a successful businesswoman and social media influencer, has been his anchor. They met years earlier in Guadalajara and weathered separations and reconciliations before tying the knot. Children. Canelo is the father of 4 children, each from different stages of his life. Emily Cinnamon Álvarez, with ex-girlfriend Karen Beltran. María Fernanda Álvarez, with Fernanda Gomez. Saúl Adiel Álvarez, with Nelda Sepulveda. And Eva Victoria Álvarez, born August 2025, with Fernanda Gomez, ***. Despite the complexities of fame and relationships, Canelo is known as a devoted father. In interviews, he often repeats, "I work for them, but they must earn their own path. My money is mine. Their future is theirs to build." Faith and character. Canelo was raised Catholic and continues to hold faith close. But his true religion, he often says, is discipline. Every dawn sees him in the gym or running the hills of Guadalajara, long before most wake up. He believes in humility, loyalty, and never forgetting where he came from. Business ventures and life beyond boxing. Outside the ring, Canelo has evolved into an entrepreneur. Canelo Energy supplies fuel stations throughout Mexico. Upper convenience stores cater to middle-class neighborhoods. Canelo Promotions manages fighters, concerts, and sporting events. Canelo Espectáculos and his real estate holdings diversify his wealth. He also owns stakes in fitness startups, beverage companies, and an upcoming tequila line. From a street vendor's son to a business magnate, his transformation mirrors that of Mexico's own modern rise, built on sweat, struggle, and unbreakable pride. Professional career. The Prodigy, 2005 to 2010. At 15, Canelo debuted professionally on October 29, 2005, knocking out Abraham Gonzalez in the 4th round. He was fighting grown men, some twice his age, in local arenas where the crowd paid more for beer than tickets. But the kid with the red hair kept winning. He fought 19 times before his 18th birthday. Every fight was another lesson. Every round another notch in his evolution. By 2010, Canelo's record was 30-0, and the world began to notice. The breakthrough, 2011 to 2013. In March 2011, Canelo captured his first world title, the WBC Light Middleweight Championship, defeating Matthew Hatton. Mexico had a new hero. But the true baptism came in September 2013 when he faced the undefeated Master Floyd Mayweather Jr. in Las Vegas. Canelo, only 23, was outclassed but not broken. He took his first loss like a lesson, saying, "Mayweather taught me patience. Defeat doesn't define you, it refines you." The rise to supremacy, 2014 to 2018. Canelo returned with ferocity. In 2015, he dethroned Miguel Cotto to become the WBC and the ring middleweight champion, a symbolic victory over a generational rival. Then came the epic trilogy that would define his middle years. Canelo vs. Gennady Golovkin, GGG. Fight 1, 2017, ended in a controversial draw. Fight 2, 2018, Canelo edged out GGG in a majority decision. Their battles were brutal chess matches, two warriors refusing to yield. In those years, Canelo's star power soared. He became the highest-paid athlete in boxing, signing record-breaking contracts with DAZN and later negotiating independently for even higher guarantees. The four-division conqueror, 2019 to 2022. Canelo's hunger for legacy pushed him to climb weights like a mountaineer chasing new peaks. In 2019, he moved up to light heavyweight and knocked out Sergey Kovalev, claiming a world title in a fourth weight class. By 2021, he had unified the super middleweight division, beating Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant to become undisputed champion, the first in Mexican history at 168 pounds. He stood alone atop the sport. Then came his only modern stumble, a 2022 loss to Dmitry Bivol at light heavyweight. Critics called it overreach. Canelo called it challenge. He avenged the doubt by defeating Golovkin once more that same year. The Modern Era and Crawford Clash, 2023 to 2025. In 2023, he humbled Jermell Charlo in a masterclass of power and precision. By 2024, he defended his crown against Jaime Munguia, another Mexican star, winning before 70,000 roaring fans in Las Vegas. But 2025 brought the biggest storm yet, a showdown with Terrence "Bud" Crawford, the American genius who had conquered welterweight and moved up to dethrone the king. On September 13, 2025, under the bright lights of Allegiant Stadium, the two met for the undisputed super middleweight championship. Crawford's speed and counterpunching stunned the world. After 12 rounds, Canelo lost by unanimous decision, his third professional defeat. It was a passing of a torch, but not a burial. Even in loss, Canelo's presence remained thunderous. His post-fight words resonated across the world. "I came from nothing. I gave my life to this sport. If I lose, I learn, but I never fall." With that humility, he reminded everyone why he remains boxing's enduring heart. House tour and car collection. Canelo's lifestyle is extravagant but tasteful, an ode to earned luxury. Homes and estates. His primary residence is an opulent mansion in Guadalajara, where Spanish colonial design meets modern excess. The property includes marble floors, glass walls opening to lush gardens, an infinity pool overlooking the city, and a private gym larger than some boxing clubs. He also owns a ranch, known as Las Reinas, named after his wife and daughters. There, he raises horses, rides daily, and escapes the chaos of fame. The ranch features stables, training grounds, and a private golf course, one of his newfound passions. Canelo also maintains homes in San Diego and Las Vegas, both tailored to training camps and family life. Car collection. Canelo's garage is a museum of power. Bugatti Chiron, Ferrari LaFerrari, Ferrari 458 Italia, Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, Mercedes-AMG G60 36x6, Rolls-Royce Ghost, Shelby Mustang Eleanor, and Tesla Model X. His collection is valued at over $8 million and often rotates between homes. The red-haired warrior drives with the same intensity he fights. Fast, focused, and fearless. He once joked on Instagram, "Cars are like belts. I like collecting the best." College career. Canelo Álvarez never attended college. His education was forged in sweat and blood, in the gym, the ring, and the world's harshest arenas. At 15, while most kids studied algebra, he was studying opponents' footwork and body movement. When asked if he regrets skipping formal education, he answered, "My school was boxing. My degree is success." And few can argue with that. As of today, Saúl Canelo Álvarez is very much alive. At 35 years old, he remains active, wealthy, and healthy, though his career may soon pivot toward retirement and business expansion. If there's any death in Canelo's story, it's symbolic, the death of doubt. The kid who was once told he'd never make it has long buried every critic beneath championship belts and billion-dollar deals. Canelo Álvarez's life is a rags-to-riches saga, one that transcends boxing. From humble beginnings to international superstardom, he has become the face of modern Mexican excellence, an athlete whose achievements carry the pride of a nation. He is both old school and futuristic, trained in discipline yet fluent in business, as comfortable in a saddle as in a Bugatti. In 2025, though he may no longer hold all the belts, he holds something far greater: respect. To millions, he is proof that you can start from nothing and build everything, that the fire inside matters more than the silver spoon you never had. As he once said, standing before a sea of fans in Las Vegas, "I was born poor. I'll die rich, not in money, but in legacy. And that legacy burns brighter than the lights above the ring."